Well, hey everybody, and welcome to Coffee Chat. So Sherry is out of town, and she has left us in control.
Unsupervised.
So I'm Carol Tuberville, and this is
Charles.
And we are going to talk today about getting a new puppy. We did a couple of prep school videos earlier, and we had said the do's and don'ts
Of getting your new doodle home. What do you need to do to set yourself up for success for when your new puppy arrives? If you're a first-time puppy owner, the things that you need to make sure you do and don't do.
Yep. So while we wait on everybody to kind of come on in, Will is behind the camera today, and he's also on the microphone. So you guys wave and say hello as you join. And if you have questions, post them in the chat. Will's going to be watching, and will let us know as questions come up.
Yep.
So
that's what we're here for. Answer some questions.
So some chit chat kind of stuff while we wait on everybody to come in. It's hot.
Very, very hot. Too hot.
So for those of you who come in to visit, make it a point to go by the beach while you were here. I think that today's heat index was what, 114?
Yep, and then 120 on Friday with 100-degree real temperature with 120 heat index. So remember, guys, when you got your dogs out, hot asphalt burns feet.
I wasn't sure where you were going to go with that comment.
Scary, ain't it? Unsupervised. But
So yeah, put your hand on the asphalt first.
Yep.
And make sure that if you can't put your hand there, your dog's paws should not be there.
And remember, make sure you're taking them out for walks, plenty of water. And if your puppy does tend to start getting a little bit overheated, rub an alcohol on the belly and on the pads of the feet. Will cool them right on down, keep them from getting too hot.
But yeah, so we were talking in prep school today about the first week of prep school, and the big goals of that first week is to handle that transition.
Yep, get them used to being in a home setting, teach them to taking treats, figuring out what motivates them, what's going to be their motivator, whether it be food, treats, toys, praise, whatever it is that motivates them, and then also instilling that love for training into the puppy so that they really want to train and it's not being forced to do it.
Absolutely. So with our breeding program, we've been working for a long time on breeding dogs that are very in tune to people, really enjoy being around people, but it at times can make them a little bit sensitive. Now, the good side to that is because they're very sensitive and in tune, they're very easy to train, very easy to work with, but they do not always handle transitions best. So before we really get into the meat of this, Will, was there anybody that we needed to give a shout out to, say hello to?
No, we don't have any comments yet, but if y'all have any, just send them and I will ask them to Carol and Charles.
All right, well, perfect. Yep. So getting your new puppy home. So the first thing is y'all be prepared before your puppy gets there.
Yes.
Nothing like getting a new puppy home and figuring out you need stuff and you not have it.
Yeah, one of the things most people don't think about is go ahead and research finding you a good vet. Not all vets are created equal. Make sure you research one, ask some friends, ask some family members, go into the, what's happening apps for your town or whatever, and make sure you get some good recommendations on the vet that you want to use. Because, like I said, not all vets are created equal.
Agreed. And the biggest thing too with vets is it's also about relationships. So the person that's working with your dog, you need to trust and have a really good rapport with. Well, every individual person has a different personality. Every vet has a different personality and style, and some of those may work great for you, some not quite so much. So make sure you find and screen a good vet before your puppy comes home. Make sure you have all the supplies that you need, and we have a list on our website. And if you're doing prep school, your prep school trainer can provide you with the list of the supplies and things that you need as you get a puppy home.
Yep.
So our biggest rule when puppies first come home, whether you're coming home to the owner or whether they're going to prep school, and what we tell all of our prep school trainers is go slow. You've got to go at the puppy's pace. Don't rush it. Don't push it. The puppy will get to the end goal, but you stressing them out isn't going to accomplish anything.
Yeah, when you're introducing this new puppy to your home and to your family members and friends and neighbors, let the puppy approach the people. Don't let the people approach the puppy, because you don't want them to, and it's it's just their habit. They see a super cute puppy and oh, look at the puppy, and they want to rush up. And now you're going to overwhelm and frighten that puppy, and it's going to make them, the next time they meet people, a little more hesitant. So you want to make sure you let the puppy approach the people, so it's a positive, rewarding experience for the puppy, not the people. We want to make sure it's a rewarding for both. So, and then let those people, give them some treats. Let them give some love, some pats, some petting, and just let it be a fun, rewarding experience. And let that puppy, if you see them starting to feel stressed, let them get out of that situation. Don't make them hold them there. Let them get out, and then let them come back. So you're, like I said, don't overwhelm the puppy. Let the puppy dictate the pace of everything.
Well, and another thing to always think about too is, what did the transition look like overall? And what I mean by that is so here, one of the things that we really work hard at, and we appreciate clients for being super understanding with this, and you guys for being understanding, is from the time you finalize on a puppy, we typically ask for a week to get that puppy ready for their gotcha day, and whether that's a delivery or whether that's you coming to pick the puppy up. The reason for that is there's a lot of boxes that we have to check before your puppy comes home. The puppy's got to make a trip to the vet to get their final health check. In a lot of cases, depending on your state regulations, get their health certificate. They've got to have a groom done before they leave and before your pickup. We also have got a protocol that we put the puppy on where the puppies are typically, depending on their age, housed with their litter mates. Well, leading up to them leaving, we separate them from their litter mates. We put them on a status check sheet, where we're monitoring, are they holding weight? Are they stressing out because they're separated from their litter mates? What extra support might they need during this time? But we like to have a week to make sure that they've handled that adjustment very, very well before the gotcha day. Well, a lot of times if you're finalizing on a Thursday and you want to come and pick up on a Monday, it really rushes that transition, and a lot of times the puppies don't get an opportunity to get all the way through it. You finalize on a Thursday, they're going to the vet on a Friday, then getting groomed on Monday, and then getting picked up on Monday. That's just a lot being thrown at that puppy in that little bit of time, and now we're transitioning into a new home on top of it.
Yeah, the whole world of that puppy is changing. So you want to make sure, you can make that as easy on them as possible.
Mm-hmm. And if on top of that you had like a courier, or you have a very long drive or a long trip, it would be totally normal for your puppy to be stressed.
So you want to make sure when you bring this puppy home, you already have some supplies ready. If the puppy stresses and starts having stress diarrhea, you want to make sure you have some like low-fat plain Greek yogurt, some canned pumpkin, something that you can give them to help settle that stomach and fix that. Maybe even some Imodium if needed. You want to make sure you have some, appropriate chew toys, chew items. My rule of thumb is I don't give any of our puppies anything that I can't tell come from a real animal. If I can't tell it's an actual cow hoof or a cow's ear, I'm not going to give it to them. I'm not going to give them anything that's compressed and rawhide. I want all natural. Also, I want to make sure that, you're going to puppy-proof the house before he comes home. Almost like with a kid. You want to make sure you don't have cords hanging out that they can go chew on and make that a shocking experience.
So one of the other things too to be mindful of, and one of the big reasons for puppy proofing, and don't forget to get your crate through this process. We also recommend crate training. One of the best ways to counteract stress is through lots of love, lots of engagement, and lots of reinforcement and praise. Well, if you're walking around behind your puppy constantly going, no, get out of that, no, stop that, no, leave that alone, no, 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 that's going to add to the stress of your puppy coming home. With prep school, what we really try hard to do is when the puppies are first loose and having opportunities to explore in the house, they drag around a leash, and as they go to get something that they shouldn't, we don't really focus on saying no. What we do is we just utilize that leash. We shorten up the range where they can't reach that object, and then when they choose something else, oh, what a good puppy. And now we reinforce for those great choices. And the more you reward your puppy for making great choices, the more confident that they feel in their ability to make great choices, and then that will also help to alleviate stress. It'll help you with bonding and help you guys kind of get over this initial transition.
Ignore the negative, reinforce and reward the positive. You also want to get some baby gates or some of the playpens so that you can separate them all from. You don't want to give them free run of the house. because you want to make sure that in this learning phases until house training is completely solid and finished, that you're able to supervise the puppy. If you can't supervise the puppy, then you crate or put it in a playpen, something where you can limit its options of doing bad things and learning that they're fun.
Yeah. So your puppy's learning every time they're moving through and doing anything. And if you can control what they're learning and what's fun for them to do, then you can control what continues happening. If you're not controlling their movements, either with a crate or baby gates or with a leash, then they're going through and learning lots of things you maybe do not intend to teach them. And right away kind of settle into a good schedule and routine. One of the mistakes that we see a lot of clients make is you've got a new puppy home and it's so exciting. And we kind of are not in a realistic schedule those first couple of days because we are so excited to have our puppy home.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. It's a fun, especially if it's your first puppy, you want to spend time with that puppy. But you can overdo it. If you want to give them adequate nap times, just like you would bringing home a baby. They get cranky when they get tired. So you'll see that afternoon crankiness when they've been out all day, haven't had a chance to get a nap. They get cranky.
Yep.
I do.
And they get overwhelmed, and this is where we can sometimes see puppies that might do a little bit of a growl in the afternoon. And if you've got a 9-10-week-old puppy that it needs 20 to 30 minutes of nap time per hour they're awake, that's been going 5-6 hours nonstop and needs some downtime and is now feeling overwhelmed, overstimulated, well, they can't talk. And so what they're going to do is verbalize in the way that they can to try to set a boundary to say, hey, I need a break. And so utilizing that crate and getting in a good schedule and routine right from the beginning sets up both your puppy and your family for success. So go ahead and be prepared for that. Go ahead and prepare, especially if you have younger children, go ahead and prepare them for that too. There's actually a really great website. And Will maybe can add some of the videos, maybe link them to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, Will.
It's it's thefamilydog.com has a website, and they've got a lot of YouTube videos that are on their YouTube channel that is really, really good for educating children on interacting with puppies and dogs. It's like I Speak Doggy, and it just talks about how dogs are not people. They don't communicate in the same way people do, and a lot of times hugs can make them uncomfortable. We don't need to sit on our dog. We kiss dogs like this, not right in their face. And so maybe going through some education, especially with younger children up front, would be really good to just kind of help make sure that there's a great relationship. Because one of the calls I really hate getting is when a dog gets super overwhelmed, they've gotten overstimulated. You have this young puppy who is a great puppy, has a great temperament, and it's just too much all at one time. And then the kids feel like the puppy's rejecting them when they're not. The puppy's just feeling overwhelmed. And so just a little bit of education and helping the kids to understand where the dog's coming from, and also setting up that puppy for success, we can have this really great relationship rather than something that right off the bat is set up for failure.
You'll see the puppy. You'll notice that they're, instead of being engaging with you, they're trying to walk away, they're trying to go over underneath chairs, they're trying to get somewhere where they can lay down. Because they're trying to tell you, look, I'm tired, I need a break. And that's the perfect time to go take them, put them in the crate, and then give them an hour or a 2-hour nap while you go and do other things and let them decompress. And other indicators, you'll see them starting to yawn and stretch. All of these little stress indicators that they do to tell you that they're getting there.
And when you see puppies give these stress indicators and you set them down and get out of that situation, you'll notice when a puppy de-stresses, they'll literally shake it off. You'll see them kind of shake their whole body, and that's them shaking off that stress, and now they're recovering. So Charles, I have a question. So in prep school, how did the trainers start crate training? Isn't it 1 hour in?
1 hour in, 1 hour out. 1 hour in, 1 hour out during the day, and then they go 2 hours, 1 hour in, 2 hours out, and then they slowly increase that as the dog is being successful.
And so that's both for potty training and adjustment. So what that does is it allows the puppy to get used to being in the crate training. They know that they're going to get to come out of the crate. Every time they come out of the crate, they go outside to go potty, so we can go ahead and be successful with a potty training
It gives you
routine.
a lot of repetition going to the door, where showing them where that door is, and it also gives them a lot of repetition of being in the crate and learning that it's a positive, rewarding place. So every time I put a puppy in a crate, I'm going to make it rewarding. I'm going to put a hoof, an ear. We feed inside the crate, so that every time they go in that crate, something rewarding is going to happen.
Okay. So one of the other things that we often talk about too is doodles. Thankfully, while personality-wise we can see behavioral things like stress and being overwhelmed and things like that, more often when a doodle stresses, what we're going to see is more medical related stuff, believe it or not. And so we're going to see our doodles be prone to loose stools, stress colitis, and things like that when they first get home. So having things...
Chewing on their feet, chewing... you'll see them start chewing on their feet, chewing on their tail.
And that's just a way, those are called displacement behaviors, and that's just a way of dealing with stress to help to alleviate it. But like Charles said initially, if you see that loose stool, one of the things to be really careful about is right off the bat, people want to switch food, try different things. Stick with the same food that you're on, but just use non-fat plain yogurt to kind of slow down that GI system, some canned pumpkin. And as a rule, if it's you or your kid and you would be concerned with your puppy. But if your puppy's eating, drinking, playful, everything else is normal, and you're just seeing a little bit of loose stool, that's probably stress. They'll rebound, they'll recover. But if you also see lethargy, vomiting, not wanting to eat, that's cause for concern, and go ahead and make sure your puppy gets checked out by the vet. And at any point, if you guys have questions or concerns, you can always reach out to us and ask questions. We're definitely here to help support.
Yeah, but remember, we're not a vet.
Correct.
We're not a professional.
We're professionals, but not a vet.
Yeah, we're not a professional vet. So if it's something like anytime you call a doctor's office, it aggravates me. If this is an emergency, call 911. Well, duh.
Right.
I would have called 911 first if it was an emergency. I wouldn't call my doctor.
Right. I'm with you. So, Will, do we have any questions or anything? Nope. Okay, well, good. Maybe we're being that thorough with information.
We're
Nobody
that good.
has any questions. I hear you.
So I've been told.
So one of the other things too with transitions is, we do have people, if you did prep school, always reach out to your trainer. Your trainer has already done a transition or two with the puppy that you have.
Depending on the length of the prep school program.
And so they're going to be the best resource for you to help you and your puppy to get through transitions. Now, if you didn't do prep school, we do offer a couple of things that maybe will help. So one thing, if you have your gotcha day coming up and you're really kind of wanting to be geared up and ready to go, we do offer a pickup with a prep school trainer. And so whenever you come to do your gotcha day, it's an add-on to your gotcha day experience where we can have one of our prep school trainers there. They actually interact with your puppy, work with your puppy, get to know your puppy prior to that gotcha day, and then they'll meet you there with the puppy and go over just some, hey, here's how to get things started, here's how to follow up, and then there's a virtual training session that that comes with that package that you can actually use after the puppy gets home.
Yep.
We also do virtual training.
Yep, even in our prep school, for every block of prep school, every 4 weeks, you get an hour of virtual training at no charge so that we can. Because a lot of times when you have issues, it's easier for us to diagnose it if we can see it, not just taking your word for it. Not that we think that you're lying to us, but a lot of times, for us as trainers, it's the body posture of the dog. It's what the dog is doing that you might not be able to understand and read that as
a trainer,
a professional, as you put it, would be able to recognize that and go, well, it's actually this, not that.
Right. Well, and so one of the other things too is even if you didn't do prep school, we do still offer virtual training. So if you find that you're having some difficulty with your puppy, reach back out to us. We can set up virtual training with our trainers, and they're also always welcome back in prep school if there are continued issues that you guys are having. But overall, getting a puppy is a happy and fun time. It's an exciting time, and we want to be here to support and help you guys in any way that we can. But biggest advice, and to kind of wrap up, is
puppies are about like bringing home a new baby. Don't go to them while they're crying. Don't go to them when they're barking. Because if you go to them while they're barking, they will always bark because it works. They got you to come to them. That's the biggest thing, everybody. The dog won't stop barking in the crate because you went to them.
Yeah.
Let them, if you feel like you just got to go check on them, have them inside of a room with the door closed. Knock on the door. They're going to get quiet to see where that noise come from. Then you appear. Never appear in that room while that puppy is barking.
Yes.
Only appear when that puppy is quiet.
So we kind of jokingly, but not really a joke, say, as much as we think we're great puppy trainers, our puppies are really, really great people trainers. They are great at adjusting their behavior based on our responses. But that's what training is. It's them adjusting their behavior based on our responses. We just have to control our responses to only be reinforcing to what we want the puppy to do.
Yes, we got to trick them.
Yeah. And not let them trick us.
Right. We got to be smarter than the dog.
Which does not happen with us very often.
No, we got some smart dogs.
So, guys, in kind of summary, biggest thing is, y'all, go slow with the puppies. You can go too fast and overwhelm the puppy and create more stress. It's okay. Those first couple of days, you don't have to do a whole lot. You don't have to master anything in the first few days of a puppy being home. Basically, get on a good schedule and routine. Be prepared for your puppy to come home. Meet your puppy where they are. Set them up for success. And anytime you hear yourself saying no to the puppy, be sure that you're also saying yes or good job when they've done something well to also help alleviate stress in as many ways as possible. Anything to add?
Nope, just make sure you have basically a puppy starter kit. When you already have all your supplies that you're going to need before they come home. Just like if you're bringing a baby home.
Yep.
Go ahead and have all your stuff there. Have your yogurt, your pumpkin, have your chew toys, have your dog food, have your crate, your food, water bowls. Have everything that you're going to need before they come home so that you're not having to go out and get it. And I would suggest having duplicates of a lot of stuff because you're going to believe.
You're not going to believe how quick they go through some
And you're
stuff.
going to lose a lot of it too because they're going to hide it. They're going to take those toys, those chew toys, and next thing you know, you're going I know I just gave you this, and you can't find it anywhere. And they're confined into a 4x4 area, and you still can't find it because they're magicians. I'm telling you, they can make things disappear faster than you can imagine.
So also have your collars and leashes so that you can kind of control what they're doing. And then, hey, if you have any further questions, always reach out to us. We are here to help and support.
I highly recommend martingale collars. If you're going to do any type of leash walking, training, martingale collars, they don't pull on the trachea, they pull on the sides of the neck. They're safety collars to where if the puppy goes to back out of them, if they got frightened, like in New York City on the streets or somewhere, they're going to draw tight and not be able to back out of the collar. So you don't have to worry about them backing out of the collar and running off and losing them. I'm just a very, very big fan of martingale collars.
Okay.
The only ones I allow our trainers to use. So if y'all see them using something different, call me.
I'm sure the trainers will really appreciate that.
Yes.
Well, guys, it was great being here this week. You guys can continue commenting below as you have questions if you watch this later, and we'll come back and answer. And then next week is the 4th of July.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Carol?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We have big plans.
We're going to go out on the boat and blow stuff up.
We're going to have lots of fun. So you guys have a great Independence Day. Quick tip for that is the number one day that dogs are lost. So make sure your microchip numbers are registered if you have your puppy and that they are secured. We will have a coffee chat on the 4th of July. So you guys tune in.
Quick?
Huh? I already did.
A few tips real quick?
I already did. And we're doing a coffee chat on the 4th.
Oh, yeah, we are? Okay, never mind. I'm just a guest here, and you can tell.
Charles is going through all the ways to not be invited back.
Just go ahead and start desensitizing them to the sounds of the fireworks. Go ahead and download a Spotify and start playing it in the house on low volumes. And I'm sure y'all probably going to talk about that later, but just in case.
We did. We also talked about YouTube playlists, and we're going to do that. So sneak peek into next week's.
I taught her well.
Coffee chat. So you guys continue commenting below. And Sherry will be back next week. Charles, we will miss you.
No, you won't.
And you guys have a great rest of your week. And I think that Meredith has some puppies that she's going to show you guys a little bit later. So bye-bye.